Coral reefs are one of the most important ecosystems in the world. They are incredibly important for several different reasons, and whether you realize it or not, the effects of the coral reef impact your everyday life. You would think we would protect something of this importance, but we don't. We are contributing to its death, and if we do not do something soon, it will be too late. Over a quarter of all marine life depends on coral reefs for their survival. They provide food, shelter, resting, and breeding grounds, which act as nurseries and a refuge for millions of species including fish, turtles, dolphins, whales, and manta rays. The coral reef also plays a role in buffering shorelines against waves, storms, and floods. This assists in preventing loss of life, property damage, and erosion. The reefs do this by acting as submerged breakwaters, which reduces wave energy and distributes the energy offshore before the waves flood coastlines and communities. This means that coastal communities are being protected because of the coral reefs. It is estimated that damage would be 2 times worse if the coral reefs were not there. Coral reefs also provide economic benefits which the communities surrounded by them depend on. A healthy coral reef supports jobs, ecotourism, and fisheries. It is estimated that the commercial value of U.S. fisheries from coral reefs is over $100 million. Due to the appeal of coral reefs, local economies receive billions from tourists who visit the reef for diving and fishing trips. It is due to this that many hotels, restaurants, and other businesses in the area also benefit from ecotourism. Lastly, coral reefs help keep us, our oceans, and our planet happy. They do this by protecting inshore habitats like mangroves and seagrass meadows, which absorb carbon dioxide and store it more efficiently than terrestrial forests. It is because of this that coral reefs are an essential part of fighting climate change. If the coral reef dies, the air we breathe will be significantly affected. It is important to act now, while there is still time.
Unfortunately, coral reefs are currently losing their fight against climate change. Human actions like burning fossil fuels, pollution, and physical damage are causing great harm to the coral reefs. The burning of fossil fuels and climate change has been the main driver of ocean warming and acidification. Burning fossil fuels causes more carbon dioxide to be in the air. The ocean acts as a sponge for carbon dioxide, absorbing about 1/4 of the CO2 and heat humans create when we burn fossil fuels. This is a major issue because corals are fine-tuned to their environment, meaning even small changes in temperature or pH can stress a coral and cause it to bleach. Once a coral is bleached, it becomes more vulnerable to additional stressors, such as marine heat waves or cold spells, disease, or storms. In the past, corals would have about 20 years to recover between stressful events. However, with climate change, the frequency of events like marine heat waves is increasing, leaving corals with insufficient time to recover, causing death to our reefs. While climate change and the burning of fossil fuels are the main causes of death to coral reefs, other human actions also contribute to their decline. Pollution from chemicals, fertilizers, and other toxins that travel from the land into the ocean are also a major problem for coral reefs. Physical damage caused by divers and commercial fishermen who do not know how to properly treat a reef are another issue that coral reefs face. All of these impacts combined have led scientists to conclude that human actions are the primary cause of the global decline in corals. The rate of decline is purely human-driven. There is no other explanation. When our reefs die, we will lose so much.
There is still time to save the coral reefs, but the time is now. The reefs are dying, but they aren't dead yet. When you are visiting a coral reef, there are many things that you can do to protect the reef. When you are going to a beach or going into the ocean, always wear reef-safe sunscreen, because chemicals commonly found in sunscreens can cause permanent DNA damage to coral, and there are more than 1 million other organisms around the world that call these reefs home. Ensure that you don't anchor the boats in the reef or touch the coral, because this causes the coral to be more susceptible to infections which can later lead to death. Like coral, reef fish have a mucus layer that protects their fragile skin from wounds and pathogens. It is because of this that you should refrain from touching coral and fish because it can harm them enough to kill them. Even if you do not live by an ocean or coral reef, you can still play a part in protecting reefs by recycling and disposing of trash properly and conserving energy whenever you are given the opportunity. In order to prevent runoff from getting into our oceans, you should minimize your use of fertilizer and reduce stormwater runoff into the ocean by directing your downspouts to vegetated areas and not to the storm drain on your street. It is also a good idea to use environmentally friendly modes of transportation, like carpooling, because it minimizes the amount of carbon dioxide that we are releasing into the air. But the most important factor of playing a part in protecting our reefs is spreading the word. It is essential to educate family, friends, and even strangers because the more people that are aware of the situation, the better we can fight to save our reefs.